Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Salem Willows Summer Concert Series, featuring the North Shore Concert Band conducted by Mr. David Benjamin. My name is Bill Fligger, and I'll be your announcer again this evening. This evening's concert is entitled Big Brass Bash and will feature many of your big band favorites. This concert will also feature well-known trumpet virtuoso Jay Daly as soloist. Before we continue our program, we'd like to thank some folks. We'd like to thank our seasonal sponsors, the Salem Willows Merchants and the Music Performance Trust Fund.
Right into the mic, Bill.
We'd also like to thank our sponsors for this evening's concert, the Salem Harbor Power Station and Shaw's Markets, plus the additional sponsors who are listed on the concert handout, which may be picked up in front of the bandstand. Also, we want to let you know that your contributions for the continuation of these concerts are most welcome and will help us to continue the long-standing tradition of the Salem Willows concerts. The North Shore Concert Band is a 501c3 IRS-approved nonprofit corporation, and all your contributions are tax deductible. You can obtain further information about this at the front of the bandstand later. We always appreciate all the support we receive from our sponsors and our audiences. Before we begin our program this evening, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our conductor, Mr. David Benjamin. We have a special two-part presentation for you tonight featuring Jay Daly, entitled A Celebration of the Popular Trumpet. Jay Daly's career began as a musician and educator and spans more than 40 years. He has toured throughout the United States and around the world. As a lead trumpet and sideman with some of America's best jazz bands, and has performed and recorded with a litany of stars. Born and raised in New Hampshire seacoast town of Hampton, Jay began playing trumpet at age 8. Jay's credits include more than 15 years touring with the Artie Shaw and Harry James orchestras. Jay also played lead trumpet in the Herb Pomeroy Orchestra. Over the past 3 years, Jay has produced his first original show concert in which he stars as soloist. It's titled Stardust to Penny Lane, a celebration of the popular trumpet. The show tells a musical story of the popular trumpet in America. Tonight, we present a showcase version of that show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jay Daly.
All right, guys. Good luck. All right. Nice forte piano. Bam. Okay? Good luck. Yeah. I'm a nervous wreck. Here we go. Ready? Okay, I gotta play it. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. I think we did it without it raining, at least for a couple minutes. We started out with Roy Eldridge's Rocking Chair, and then into After You've Gone. Now, those two tunes were not trumpet pop hits. This next one, however, is one of the greatest melodies ever written, and it definitely was a pop hit. Probably many of you don't know that the trumpet was a pop instrument of the 20th century. If you were born before 1955, you probably knew a trumpet player that was a pop star. If you were born after 1955, well, you're about to learn about the pop trumpet of the 20th century. This tune was written in 1929 by a guy named Hoagy Carmichael. Many bands covered it through the 30s, and in 1941, R.D. Shaw, who was a clarinet player, put together an arrangement, and it was a #1 hit for 3 weeks in a row, and made R.D. Shaw millions and millions of dollars and popularity. And it happened to feature his lead trumpet player named Billy Butterfield. So cool. The tune is called Hoagy Carmichael's Stardust. Hoagy Carmichael's Stardust, 1941. I don't know, am I showing my age, or do they write music like that anymore? No, they don't, I know. There was a band out of Cuba. The band leader was Prez Prado. Anyone remember it? His biggest hit, his #1 hit was Mambo No. 5. Later done by Lou Bega in the 90s, but that was his biggest hit in the 50s. His second biggest hit was this next tune that featured his lead trumpet player in his band. This tune is called Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White. Yeah. Da, 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 da. One, don't forget to hold in the 4th bar. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Yeah, guys. Thank you. Anyone remember that tune? Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom Wine. Oh, a few people. All right. There was a very famous trumpet player in the 30s, a guy named Clyde McCoy. And he is a one-hit wonder. He had one tune he played his entire career, but he actually made lots of money on this tune. It's called Sugar Blues. And hey, hand me this. All right. You may think this thing has another function, but this was Clyde McCoy's very favorite trumpet device. It's called a plunger. Ready? And here we go. Clyde McCoy. He was from Kentucky, too. I don't know if he had anything to do about that. McCoy, Hatfield, McCoy, I don't know. Now, you've heard of Benny Goodman, right? Benny Goodman, the king of swing. He was considered the king of swing, except by Artie Shaw. He didn't agree with it. And he had a great band all those years. And he had this one tune called And the Angels Sing. And this just started out with a nice sax soli chorus. And then the vocalist came in, sang a chorus. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the tune, all of a sudden, the drummer goes into this fralic Jewish groove. And the crowd would go crazy, they say. And down from the trumpet section would come in the front a guy named Ziggy Elman, a great, great trumpet player. The groove sounded like this. 1, 2, 3, and that's where the crowd would go crazy. And then Ziggy Elman would come down and start to play. And then the tune just ends with a regular Benny Goodman swing tune. Here it is, And the Angels Sing. There was another trumpet player, such a great trumpet player out of New Orleans named Al Hurt. One of my very favorite. He was such a swinger. And in 1965, he recorded this tune. He had a few hits before 1965, But he goes into the recording studio and his producer says, you know, Al, have you ever heard of the Beatles? He was like, well, yeah. He says, well, the Beatles and a few other groups are into like straight eighth notes, not swinging the eighth notes at all. And he's like, I don't know. He says, why don't we try this next tune with straight eighths, like the American public wants to hear. And he fought it, and he played it with straight eighths, and it became his biggest hit, tune called Java. All right. I don't know if that's true or not. So, this next piece very good, Billy Love. Does anyone know what Billy was introducing? What trumpet player made that famous? Herb Alpert. Thank you, Billy. And how about a big hand for Billy Love over there? Billy is the best trumpet player in his price range. No, he's one of the best trumpet players in the country. In the cities, and that's over. No, thank you, Billy. That was very nice. In the key of F sharp, too. That was good. All right, Herb Alpert. When I was 8, I picked up the trumpet, and Herb Alpert was a top star on the radio. He had so many hits and inspired me to play the trumpet. Here's one of his hits called Spanish Fly. I mean Flea, Spanish Flea. like to end our trumpet medley by paying tribute to the great Harry James. Kiss me once, kiss me twice. It's been a long, long time. Well, I think we did it before the rain came. We thank you for coming out and checking us out and enjoying some of these great trumpet melodies. How about a great big hand for this band behind me? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Do we have time for one more? Yeah? I think we do. I couldn't pay tribute to the pop trumpet players without paying tribute to probably the greatest jazz trumpet player that ever lived, a man named Louis Armstrong. Louis had so many hits. But in 1967, he went into the recording studio and recorded this tune right here. I've been playing it all year, and it seems to resonate with a lot of people this year. Because in 1967, who remembers 1967? Yeah, you're too young? I was 10 years old. 1967, we had an unpopular president, an unpopular war, and civil unrest across the country. And it seems to resonate this past year as well. Here is Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. 1,